Flames are pouring from the buildings now. There's cars toppled, buildings entire just crushed and crumbled. I'm not sure if it's safe to report from my vantage point. I really need to leave. Civil Defense has informed me that the surrounding areas are in ruin. I see some people running now.
Happy Thanksgiving to all you Kate and Allie watchers.
And happy Thanksgiving to all of you who don't watch Kate and Allie.
Why?
Because it's the season of turkeys.
I'm Victor, this is PopCon, powered by Gen X, that's me. No, not the overcooked turkey or the undercooked stuffing disaster, nor the disasters of family dynamics and awkward silences because of a judgy aunt or demeaning in-laws. We're talking death on the parade route, the most infamous parade balloon disasters in the iconic history of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Millions of viewers consider this part of their annual tradition, and I'm one of the millions. The parade's on its way, and I wouldn't let a Thanksgiving go by without seeing it. But on occasion, this parade gives the spectators more than they bargained for. Balloons were new to the parade, and they were a standout hit, if not pretty creepy all around. A more familiar face was that of Felix the cat, famous feline who went through the 1927 route with no issue. It was at the end of the parade where, surprise, they would wow the onlookers by simply releasing the balloons, letting them drift skyward in visual delight and what must have been seen as UFOs to some small communities on the outside of New York. I guess they never thought to simply deflate and fold them up for later. In their lack of foresight, Felix hit an electrical wire on his ascent, exploding in sparks and bursting into flaming rubber. Surprisingly, the practice of fraying balloons at the end of the parade continued until 1932, when it nearly led to disaster. Macy's offered reward money to whoever retrieved and returned their loose balloons. So why not a 22-year-old woman flying student in a plane over Queens? She spotted the 60-foot Tomcat balloon floating nearby, and with prize money on her mind, it was reported she said, "I think I'll have a piece of the neck," which is fairly apropos for Thanksgiving. Making a risky maneuver, the balloon snagged the wing and nearly brought the plane down with it. At one point, the cabin door flew open, but before the woman could fall out, her flight instructor was able to regain control of the aircraft. Macy's rightfully ceased the balloon release tradition after that. How the mighty have fallen. Even simple deflations carry a bit of a dramatic zeal. Take the fall of the Mighty Mouse balloon in 1956. It was a tale as old as time. Balloon versus street sign. Sign is victorious and balloon crumbles helplessly to the ground. Not as mighty nor airborne as we thought. This Thanksgiving, Mighty Mouse accomplished neither. Popeye has always been a bit brash, but what do you expect from a grizzled sailor? True to form in 1957, Popeye had it.
That's all I can stand. I can't stand no more.
As a chilly rain blanketed the city, it collected in the top of Popeye's iconic sailor's cap. One tight turn was all it took for him to tip his hat to the crowd below and dumping gallons of water on the unsuspecting spectators. In 1986, in a stunt befitting her name, Raggedy Annie crashed into a lamppost and sent it into the street. However, in the same year, it was Superman in one of his incarnations that demonstrated the Man of Steel is no match for Mother Nature. Getting tangled in a tree, Soup tore free of the branches and his arm tore off with it. Floating the rest of the route minus a left arm never stopped this superhero. I'm more curious as to what's written on Soup's ass that needs to be marked off from aerial onlookers. It's not easy being green. When on his first flight in 1985, he was eviscerated after crashing into some trees, but managed to survive the rest of the parade. The more crippling blow came in 1991. When it lost in another encounter with a tree, which left his head deflated in a decidedly unfestive way. The balloon was never the same and was retired shortly afterward. A new improved and tree-resistant version debuted in 2002 and has had an off-and-on relationship with the spectacle. You may be fast, but you gotta be in control. A frightening 1993 incident in Columbus Circle had Sonic the Hedgehog crash into a lamppost, ending in an off-duty police officer's broken shoulder and hurting a 10-year-old girl. The footage looked pretty shocking. Luckily, nothing failed, and the band played on as if nothing had happened. Now for something completely different. The force of the wind and the powerful pull it has on the ropes and wranglers was on full display in 1994. Stopped as volunteers trying to control Barney the purple dinosaur through severe gusts, you could watch the tension grow and began to understand it would not end well. A gleeful, wide-eyed attention to this amazing atrocity came across countless onlookers' faces who found it not only fascinating to behold, but were also stunned at the reaction of the New York police, who, in an effort to keep the parade moving and end the debacle, put the dinosaur out of its misery by stabbing it continuously with their knives so that it could completely deflate quickly and be moved out of the way to avoid congestion of oncoming parade units. And then the bad one. In 1997, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade came close to having the worst situation ever. High winds pushed the Cat in the Hat into a lamppost. The falling debris crashed down onto 4 people. One parade goer struck experienced a fractured skull and left her in a coma for a month. She later sued Macy's for $395 million, which was settled out of court.
Huge wind gust came down, hit that light post right on top, sprung a big leak, a big chunk about 4 feet long fell right down into the crowd.
First thing I did was cover my head and try to move out of the way, but it hit me on my foot.
As handlers struggled to bring the balloon under control, police and EMS rushed to help 4 people who were injured.
Hey, Victor here. As a reminder, don't forget to stay to the very end. We're going to see the biggest, worst balloon atrocity ever to hit Macy's Day Parade. But until then, why don't you click the like and the subscribe? It would really help me out and get this show out to a greater audience. Now, on with the parade. In 2005, M&Ms were flying high in a hot air balloon, and it was bobbing along in what can only be described as flirting with disaster. Catching a streetlight with one of its cables in Times Square, 2 sisters were struck by falling debris. They were 11 and 26 years old. The 11-year-old suffered a head injury and the 26-year-old suffered a shoulder injury that required stitches. Also, one of them suffered broken teeth. The M&M balloon was retired after 2006, and the sisters got a lifetime supply of M&Ms. Ironic, since too many M&Ms can cause your teeth to fall out. In 2008, a balloon took on the NBC camera booth and the on-air personalities.
A balloon in the Macy's parade.
Keith Haring's heart balloon, like the artist, wanted to make a statement and brought the needed attention by cutting the feed from the hosts for a moment in a surprise scare for the NBC anchors.
See an elevated highway which spans. Oh! A little surprise here in the booth.
That's right, Keith Haring's balloon got a little close to us.
Wow, that's love.
That's a lot of heart. You know,
Wow.
he said, I'd really like to see that closer.
And they
guess what? We
delivered.
did.
All right, perhaps the only deaths are the polyurethane and helium kind, but who doesn't love to watch the best laid plans go a little awry? And that goes for Thanksgiving dinner as well. Oh, and the biggest disaster is yet to come, so just wait for it. To the in-person audience, I bet every balloon is both awe-inspiring and disaster waiting to happen, with most of us hoping for a little of that exciting adrenaline caused by some of even the simplest of mishaps. From Bart Simpson to the Quick Bunny, there seems to be no shortage. But I wonder if Smokey the Bear, Snoopy, or the Doughboy ever had these problems. Tell me if you've been to the parade live and if you've witnessed the balloon drama caused by the winds whipping between skyscrapers. Well, now you've made it. Now it's time for the biggest holiday disaster in the parade's history. The scariest balloon disaster that has ever left so many of us shook. The footage is from a lucky parade viewer watching from their high-rise apartment in 2016.
Balloons just leave. Is that stupid song done yet?
Oh man, somebody got tangled up in Madeline's cables.
Oh my God! Is that Kristen Chenoweth? Oh, that poor woman. She is so small.
Hey, kids, Kristen Chenoweth is gonna be fine, okay?
Oh, that's bad.
Okay, you know what? Let's go to bed and watch TV, huh? Come on, let's go. Okay.
So much for defying gravity.
Nate!
Well, I know you enjoyed that because who doesn't like a little panic or watching a train wreck? Well, there's plenty more Turkey Day fun here on PopCon. Just stay tuned, including more parade shenanigans. Until then, go ahead and click this show and take a watch. I know you'll love it. Just go ahead, click it. What could go wrong? Until next time.